The digestive system is a group of organs that digest food and absorb nutrients. Each part of the gastrointestinal tract, GI tract, has a specific function in the conversion of food, absorbing nutrients and eliminating waste products. This presentation will explain the GI tract and go on to explain mechanical and chemical digestion, including discussion of enzymes. Finally, it will demonstrate what the constituents of a balanced diet are. The function of the digestive system is to fundamentally take in food and drink and process it so that our body's system obtains essential nutrients and water for the maintenance and growth of our cells and body. The digestive system works on mechanical and chemical processes. The mechanical, by chewing and breaking up food, digestion takes place initially in the mouth. The grinding up of the food creates a larger surface area for chemical digestion. Further mechanical digestion occurs in peristalsis and the rhythmic contractions of the stomach, small and large intestines, and final removal of the waste at the anus. The mouth contains other organs such as teeth and tongue, and salivary glands, and it's the start of the GI tract. The salivary glands release salivary amylase. When food is smelt or a person feels hunger, it is controlled by the autonomic system. There are 3 pairs of salivary glands. Saliva is made out of water, ptyalin and mineral salts and make an alkaline substance. It also helps keep the mouth moist. When entering the mouth, the teeth chew and start to break down the foods. On the tongue, mastication together with the salivary amylase mix the food into a bolus, pass it down to the esophagus via the pharynx. Swallowing now becomes involuntary because the epiglottis has to close over the larynx to prevent any food entering the lungs, and the muscles in the pharynx move the bolus to the esophagus. The epiglottis is a tissue flap under the tongue at the back of the mouth. The esophagus runs from the pharynx down to the stomach through the diaphragm. The bolus and liquids are moved to the stomach in part by gravity and also peristalsis, which is a wave-like contraction of the muscles. Liver is an accessory organ which produces bile. Bile contains water electrolytes, cholesterol, bilirubin and other molecules. This helps digestion and absorb fats and fat-soluble vitamins. Bile removes waste-like products. The gallbladder is attached to the liver and stores bile. The bile ducts are a series of small tubes which allow bile to move from the liver and gallbladder to the small intestine. The stomach is hollow and accepts the bolus. Muscle movement mixes it with the gastric juices, hydrochloric acid, water, enzymes, and the intrinsic factor and mineral salts to help break it down further. The hydrochloric acids help kill bacteria, and intrinsic factor aids vitamin B absorption. This process can take up to 4 hours before it is moved to the small intestine. The small intestine. The chyme bolus is further digested by chemicals and becomes alkaline and free up small molecules. Jejunum and ileum. Through a large surface area made by the villi microvilli, water and vitamins and the small molecules. Lipids and amino acids and monosaccharides are absorbed into the bloodstream. Peristalsis moves the chyme into the large intestine. Ascending colon absorbs the remaining water and other nutrients to form a stool. Transverse colon absorbs water and salts and forms a stool. Descending colon is a storage area for feces. Sigmoid colon moves stool into the rectum. The rectum, when the descending colon is full, the stool is moved to the rectum, which in turn stimulates bowel movement. The anal canal and anus is an external skin, and the anal sphincter controls the bowel movement. The sphincter opens to allow defecation. Chemical digestion is largely facilitated by the digestive enzymes. Although the acidity of the stomach and other chemicals do have active roles to play, digestive enzymes are like all enzymes. Proteins made of a specific peptide chain. They are specific, and one enzyme carries out one reaction. They are shape dependent, and that shape can easily be disrupted by pH and temperature. An important part of the enzyme is the active site, which is where the substrate molecule fits. The enzyme causes the substrate molecule to break up into products. This is the lock and key mechanism. The enzyme isn't changed and can be reused. Salivary amylase is produced and secreted by the salivary glands in the mouth. Saliva lubricates foods during chewing so it can be swallowed. Mechanical digestion. The salivary amylase is a digestive enzyme that acts on carbohydrates. It starts straight away to break down carbohydrates into single disaccharides and trisaccharides. In fact, we keep a piece of bread in our mouth and chew to eventually taste sweet because of the enzyme working. Salivary amylase works best in acidic conditions, so it works from the hydrochloric acid of the stomach, but in the small intestine. It is much more alkaline, so it will become denatured and lose its active shape and function. Pancreatic lipase is produced in the pancreas. It works in an alkaline environment, and its role is to break down lipids in glycerol and the fatty acids hydrolysis. It is a water-soluble, it is a part of chemical digestion and acts in the duodenum and works together with bile. Pepsin is a protease enzyme which breaks down peptide bonds, which join amino acids together and make polypeptides. Pepsin is released in the stomach and works optimally in acidic conditions at the body temperature. Relatively small increases in temperature may improve enzyme efficiency, but more than 4 to 5 degrees resulting in denaturing the active site and a reversible loss in enzyme function. It can also kill harmful microfibers. The constituent food groups of a balanced diet are carbohydrates, 55%, fruit and veg, bean pulses and protein, fats and oils, and saturated fat. Dairy and alternate products are included in the fats totals. Food groups are appropriate food portions and are not overindulging. They recommend at least 5 portions of fruit and veg a day for fibre, green leafy veg and smoothies. High fibre, starchy foods such as rice, pasta, potatoes, breads, wholemeal to replace where possible. 1 out of 3 dietary intake required for energy. Small amounts of dairy or dairy alternatives, source of calcium, skimmed or semi-skimmed milk, almond or soya milk. Bean pulses, eggs and meats. Proteins are an essential part of our diet and aid in the conversion of amino acids, which helps metabolism, growth, repair, muscle develop and fluid balance. Lean meat, eggs, oily fish and lentils. And saturated fats, such as oils, spread, oily fish in small amounts can help reduce cholesterol, salmon and avocado. Saturated 10% biscuits, cured meat, cheese, sausage, fatty cuts of meat increase cholesterol, so avoid where possible and substitute for unsaturated fats. It is suggested that we have 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. Low saturated fat, sugar and salt diets are recommended. Portion sizes change relating to age. However, the NHS recommends that men have 2,500 calories and women have 2,000 calories. Portion sizes are important in childhood to aid growth and development, but from 5 years, their diet should start to follow the Eat Well Guide 2019 and should not exceed the government recommendations. And in adulthood, overeating will lead to obesity, heart disease, cancer and other illnesses.